This is Arts and Crafts, a black-owned business by Patrick Springer and Carl Hill in Taichung, Taiwan. It's a bar slash art gallery and art studio for people of all ages and all colors to come out and have a good time, enjoy a good beverage in Taichung. So as I said before, Arts and Crafts is a bar slash art gallery and art studio. So if you look on this, what we're going to do eventually is we're going to take this wall and fill it with art from people of color and Taiwanese Aboriginals from around the island, also from around the world. So we're going to display different types of art from different people of color on this wall and also on this other wall on the right hand side as well. But again, we're a bar, we like to entertain and have fun as well. So as you can see right now, we have our beer pong table, a little dose of home, a little dose of America. We also have other tables. We used to use this for beer pong, for flip cup, for games and activities. So because we're a bar and an art studio, the art studio is in the morning, and the bar area is in the afternoons and in the evenings, right? So you can come in, you can get American style food. We have chicken wings, mozzarella sticks, French fries, gumbo, potlucks, all those different types of things that be going on in this space that we have here. Again, it's a pretty big space too. There's a lot of different things that we can do. So, art studio. So of course, Patrick is a photographer. So again, you have these Polaroids. Every time a new visitor comes in to visit Arts and Crafts, you get a personalized Polaroid. One is for you to keep and take with you. Then one makes it to our wall of fame that we have as well. So again, when we're doing things like photography sessions or we're doing clay modeling, these are some of the things that we've done already with Arts and Crafts as a part of our art exhibitions and art things that we do. There's some things that you can do and also get your photo on the wall as well. So again, it's a big area. You have more bar space, more sitting space for you to come and enjoy a nice beverage, to talk, hang out with your friends, and to feel safe and to feel secure around people of color with great music. That's one of the key things we try to do as well, is to make sure that we have good music and music that you feel like you want to listen to and you want to enjoy. No switch to techno, no switch to pop, hip-hop, R&B music, all day, every day, no matter what we're doing here at Arts and Crafts. This is the bar area. As you can see, we're going to feature each month we're going to feature different artists. They'll have their names and their photos put up here. They'll have what kind of art they're doing also featured up there. And of course, Arts and Crafts, the craft part is the beer. We have our beer selections that we featured up here as well. We only work with Taiwanese local brews. We're also going to start brewing our own beer as well, and then within the next 2 months, we'll have our beer brews featured up here as well as our featured artists and what kind of art exhibitions that we'll be holding here in the space. So again, the space is multifaceted. We're focusing on art, different types of art, and we're also focused on beer and drinking and having a good time. It's a place that we want to have for people of color, whether they're coming from America or coming from wherever they are, coming from America, South Africa, the Caribbean Islands, wherever they're coming from, to come here and feel safe and feel at home and feel like they have their culture and a piece of themselves here. So no matter where you're coming from, you can feel like you're at home here with us at Arts and Crafts.
Okay, my name is Wes Ahana Pearson, reporting for Black Asia Magazine, and right now I'm in the city of Taichung in Taiwan, the center of Taiwan, and I'm talking to one of the owners of CEP Travel. So first, for the site, could you tell me your name?
Oh, my name is Carl Hill.
Okay, and Carl, where did you grow up and where do you live right now?
I grew up in Chicago, born and raised in Chicago, and I now live in Taichung, Taiwan.
Okay, and how long have you lived in Taichung?
I've been living in Taichung for about a year now, but I've lived in Taiwan for almost 10 years.
Okay, all right, so as you know, most Americans probably never leave the United States or leave their comfort zone. What was it in the first place that prompted you to leave your country and come to Taiwan?
I had the honor or the privilege of studying abroad when I was in college. And then after college, it just kind of made sense to continue to build upon my Chinese speaking abilities, and I moved to Taiwan. And I was really just open to doing anything after I graduated. I knew that I wanted to see the world, and Taiwan was one way for me to be able to do that.
Okay, all right. And can you try to give me a picture of, like you said, you're from Chicago. Give me an impression or idea of like when you were growing up in Chicago, what was it like for you there? What were some of the things that you saw? What was the community like? What were people like? Things like that.
Oh, well, Chicago is a big city, so it's very fast-paced. Fast-paced community. I was always busy doing something. Always an event going on. basketball games, community gatherings, things like that. Very fast-paced. The community I grew up in, the block was very close-knit, so I knew everyone that was on my block. I knew my neighbors knew my family, and things like that. So it was very tight, close-knit family environment that I grew up in. But I was a part of the busy city in Chicago, so I was never not doing something. It was always something for me to do.
All right, so you have some experience with doing business from Chicago.
Yeah, so I worked, I was a manager at a movie theater for a while. I worked in insurance, I worked in marketing, I worked in finance. I have a lot of different working experience before I made it down here to Taiwan. And all that experience kind of helped me in what I'm doing today.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I am 30 years old.
30.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's relatively young to have the level of experience you have. Okay. All right, so thanks for sharing that. Moving forward a bit, tell me briefly, I understand you've traveled quite extensively. What are some other places or locations you've been to other than Taiwan?
I've been to Egypt. Egypt was the first trip I ever took out of the country. It was amazing, definitely worth it. So I've been to Egypt, lived in China, lived in Beijing. I've been all over China. Thailand, Japan, Portugal, Morocco, Philippines, Korea, Australia. Loved Australia. I've been to quite a few places. My favorite place to travel to is Australia. I love Australia. But the most rewarding travel experience I've ever had, and one I'll always keep with me, and I actually still wear my Kenya bracelet, was when I went to Kenya.
Okay. We did take a shot of that. Yeah.
We did a 10-day trip to Kenya.
Okay.
This was given to me by an actual person that was from Kenya and lived there. And one of the moments I'll never forget is when they looked in my eyes and said, "I can tell you're just from here. You're from here." So I traced my lineage back to Kenya.
Really?
And then I actually had the honor and privilege of going to visit Kenya 2 years ago with Patrick and my cousin, which was just an amazing experience. So Kenya, best trip I've ever
You traced your lineage back to Kenya? Really? You did like genealogy study?
Yep.
I'd like to know more about that too, but in a moment. So next question, if you had to compare and contrast Chicago to Taichung, where you live now, what are the similarities or differences between these two places?
Well, first is the food. Food is very different. The food in Chicago is just different. It's just hometown food that you're used to. I'm accustomed to the taste of the food. But just overall, like Chicago's much bigger, a lot more bigger buildings, a lot more cars, longer freeways, bigger highways, things like that. Taichung is slower. It's kind of a city, but it's a lot slower. There's a lot of shops that line the streets, where Chicago things are more spread out. There are not as many entertainment options in Taichung, meaning like clubs and bars and things like that. It's very homey. It feels like a home. It's a place you can feel safe. Chicago, you can have those things too, but again, Chicago is bigger. Like literally, Chicago is the size of the entire island of Taiwan.
Right.
So, so Chicago itself is just a huge city. There's public transportation. Taichung doesn't have public trains. They have one train system that runs only in the middle of the city, but it doesn't run all over the city of Taichung, only in the center area. Where Chicago, you can get the metro, you have the CTA, you have all these options and ways of getting around. Taichung is more about buses, and the buses are free. Free to ride the buses in Taichung within 10 kilometers.
Really?
I know we do miles, but 10 kilometers is about as far as you'll ever need to go in Taichung on a bus. So it's free to get around with. In Chicago, guys, you pay for everything. So yeah, very, very different. Big city versus a smaller town feel to Taichung.
Okay, all right. Let's get into the kind of work you're doing right now, and first, what led up to you being here. So you and your partner Patrick are the owners of CEP Travel, which is your name. It's called Patrick.
Yeah.
What were you doing right before you started this business, and where did this idea come from for you to have this kind of establishment?
So it kind of goes twofold. So for CEP Travels, that was designed to spread the word, to write, to blog, to do videos, to get more people of color to travel the world, and then it grew into planning trips for people of color to travel the world. But how it all started, even the bar itself that we own now, was one day we were sitting in Vietnam, and we were just like, man, we're traveling so much. We've been to 25 countries then, and this was back in 2012. Like, man, we wish there were more people that looked like us out here traveling.
Yeah.
And it grew from that. It's like, how can we spread the word and get more people excited about leaving their hometowns or going to places other than Jamaica and Mexico, because we're from America, so that's where we usually go, to get them to see more of the world and do more with the world. So that was kind of where that came from, and that we went to CEP Travels, the travel company. The bar itself was kind of the same thing. It's like, all right, we've been in Taiwan and Taichung for quite some time. It's like, all right, we're tired of not hearing our music or hearing our music played for only 30 minutes or mixing our music with techno music or not having a place to go to that feels like home and it's comfortable for us and that we really enjoy. We're walking into a bar or to a club and seeing somebody who looks like us, that's from the same place as us, or just is familiar with us, more familiar than us than our Asian counterparts. And that's kind of where the idea for the bar came in. Be like, all right, we should start something that's for us, by us, and that encourages us to work with us.
Yeah.
Right? And a place that if you come to Taiwan, all right, I need to stop at Arts and Crafts because those owners have not only been on the bar, but they've been working and teaching in Taiwan, know a lot of people and can connect us in ways that we would struggle to do otherwise. And I know there's a lot of Facebook groups and things like that are out, but there's nothing like communicating in person, being able to come here and say, all right, we have a room upstairs for people to stay in if they need to, while they get their bearings, they figure out Taiwan, we can connect them with different jobs. But this is more than just a bar and an art studio. It's a place for people of color to come and
have
feel at home
community.
and have community and feel safe and have figure out where to go.
And you pretty much answered my next question, but but that's fine. It's excellent. To sidestep for a moment, how could you and how would you put that into words? Because most people would argue that, okay, if you want things that you're familiar with, like go stay home. When you go abroad, you should expect to like do what the Romans do and have the things that they have. But for black people who travel, all of us have experienced this. That feeling of wanting or yearning for what the things, the people, the way that we interact with each other, the way that we think, our camaraderie between each other as black people. We want to have that out here. How would you explain and describe what that feeling is, the wanting to have, maybe I just said it, but the wanting to have like something familiar that even out here in Taiwan?
And I think for me, just from my experience, it's all about balance. Like I think when you travel, I think it's traveling and living, right? So if you're traveling, yes, you want to try everything that's new. When you're traveling, you have an end date, right? It's like I'm going home in 10 days or 15 days. When you're actually living somewhere, it's good to have that balance. Like honestly, for white people, it's easier because the whole world, we all know how the world works, right? The whole world is kind of catered toward them. Yeah. And they can find those little aspects of the community. And they've been exploring way before black people were able to, like for America specifically, were able to get out and travel where we are able to travel now. So they have those pockets of community built in. They have businesses that are established. They can go in and find their music and their sport shows and all that. They have that already. For us, that hasn't been established. So it's fair for us we can do two things can be true. We can come to a country like Taiwan and have that organic and authentic experience of living here in Asia. But there's nothing wrong with also wanting to, all right, 6 days a week, I'm in Asia, I'm in Taiwan, I'm fully engulfed in the culture and the people. But on that seventh day, I want to go to Arts and Crafts. I know they're going to play my music. I know I can talk the way I talk from back home. I know I'm not going to be judged for my hair. I know I can go to them for resources and tips about my natural hair care products or anything that you want to do or talk about. You know that there's people and there's a place you can go and have those conversations and feel okay and be comfortable and vent. And like and express what's going on and also get advice and tips and feedback. So that's what this is about. And I think to answer your question, it's okay to have both of those or to want that feeling of this feels like a little taste of home because we all get homesick. And you need a place that feels like home to weather that storm.
As opposed to when you're traveling. All right. Okay. Just take a step forward more into the present. What you told me very briefly a moment ago was you had some pretty novel and pretty savvy strategies for starting your business here. What was the process that you went through to create a business in another country? And what were some of the strategies that you employed to make sure that your business would actually run more smoothly?
Well, first, because with any business, you need a contract, you need agents. Make sure you have a good agent. The agent that you use, the agent represents whoever you're buying the business from or renting the business from or renting the space from, but they also represent you. So it's important to get to know the agent before you move forward with any process that you're going through. Also, because it is a new country and you are a foreigner, you have to have someone who's here to be there with you that not only understands you, but understands the culture. Because everything when business-wise, even in America and in any country, there's a lot of culture built into the business, right? You have to understand how business works and the cultural practices that go behind that. Right. So one of the biggest things that we did, we made sure we had was someone that was there. Even though we could do it on our own, we could. But you need someone that's from here to be by your side the entire way to kind of help walk you through all those things in the process and to just be there. Even if they're not really making any decisions, they're just there that, hey, this is why they're saying this, or hey, this means this, or hey, this
Yeah.
doesn't make sense. Someone else
certain
that
nuances of the culture
Yeah.
that you might not understand because you're an outsider, but they would understand it. They can explain to you what's
Exactly.
going on.
and somebody that you trust and someone that is trustworthy. And so that was the first biggest step. When it comes to the contract, just like with any contract you sign, work through it. Understand every line and every word in the contract. And have someone read it. You read it 3 times. Someone tells it to you in Chinese and English, whatever you have to do. Make sure you understand what the contract means and get what you want. A contract is not just about, in Taiwan, not just about giving whoever's giving you the contract what they want. It's also about what you want and what you need. And doing that is also the most important thing about that. Being firm, not smiling a lot. Like, I know culturally you're supposed to be happy and all that, but business is business here. They need to know that you're serious. And I think being very firm when you're doing that was something that really benefited us, and being very straightforward. It's like, hey, culturally, I know these things exist. That's why I have a person there to kind of soften it when you communicate. When it comes down to the nuts and bolts, we're discussing money, a lot of money. You need to make sure that you know what you're doing, what's going into it, and you're getting what you need, and the party's also getting what they need and what they want as well. So the process itself, again, a lot of communication, a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth, a lot of negotiating. But it takes a lot of time, a lot of patience. But the more time you put into it, the more you get out of it. And money talks.
Right.
And at the end of the day, money talks too. Make sure you have your ducks in a row and you know what you're signing up for, and you have that person on your side to kind of walk you through things, but also you read through the contract, you're getting what you want and what you need as well.
Right. And I understand that you already are fluent in Mandarin. And did that help you at all, or did that even hinder you when you were negotiating and doing business here initially?
But nearly fluent, almost there. Still working on that. It definitely helped because whenever, again, being a foreigner, whenever you walk in, they don't even, because my friend was there, they immediately started talking to the friend that was Taiwanese.
A local person, their own nationality.
Because they thought, because it's the way in which they say things. But because I've been living here and I understand colloquially how they communicate, that was a
Taiwanese
huge,
language dialect they have. Okay.
a huge benefit when communicating, because they would say something to me or to the agents, to my friend, or even to me, and I would pick up on it and know how to respond. But know how to respond in their language. But I always responded in English unless I needed to speak Chinese.
Okay.
Right? Because I know they understand I'm a foreigner, but I wanted them to understand that yes, I'm a foreigner. I want them to get too comfortable in doing things, and they're going to treat me the same way as a Taiwanese person be treated. While you do want that, you still want them to understand, like, hey, I am foreign. I have different needs and different requests that I know that I need to run my business. My business will not be a standard Taiwanese business. While I understand your language and your culture, I understand that my needs and requests are going to be different because I'm different. So don't forget that. And the best way for them not to forget that is to slide that English in there. I understand what you're saying, but I want you to understand what I'm saying. But I'm going to say it in English, and then I'll translate it for you if you need it to be. So having that balance when negotiating is important.
So kind of like when you speak in English and then someone translates, kind of puts you in a bit more position of power.
Exactly.
When you're dealing with kind of like indirect. Okay. Do you think it's easy for foreigners to be taken advantage of in business in Taiwan?
I think it is. It is easy if you don't know what you want and what you're looking for when you go into it, right? There's a lot of things that you don't know. A lot of times when you're trying to do something and you have the money to do it, you just want to, a lot of people just want to get it done. They lack that patience. You have to be patient. So anything that anyone says to you in any contract, in any business setting, you go back and check it before you say yes. So that was the point in time where they're like, all right, guys, you guys like the place and you guys want to do this, let's get a money deposit. And I'm like, I don't want to give you any money yet because I need to go back and check everything that you said to make sure that it's valid. So yes, I'll sign something that says I'm interested, but I don't have to give you any money because, like, again, business, they want to get their money as soon as possible. And the moment you give a financial deposit, they feel more secure. But while they may feel secure, you may feel a bit insecure because you may go back and check something and then something doesn't check out, but you've already given money. So you feel obligated and they can then have money to say, no, you said you liked it. No. Patience is what you need to have. If you're not patient, then you will be taken advantage of because you'll miss out on something. And that's how foreigners or people in general just get taken advantage of. They lack that patience. Looking for an apartment, be patient, shop around. Looking for a girlfriend, be patient. Things like that. Take your time and really try to understand everything that's going on and do your research, do your due diligence, and then you won't be taken advantage of because you put that time in to understand what you're getting yourself into.
All right, excellent. Excellent. Thanks for sharing that with us. Is it true that you must have a Taiwanese person, when you start a business here as a foreigner, you must have a Taiwanese person as your guarantor to co-sign on everything you do, or can you go into these proceedings, as long as you can speak the language, negotiate the language, can you go into these proceedings by yourself without a Taiwanese person legally being responsible for you?
Yes, it is. It is not true that you need to have that. It has been there are benefits to having that, of course, because a local person gets local benefits, as we all know, so in America. But you don't absolutely need that. If you again, money talks. If you have the finances, if you have the know-how, if you have the ability to communicate, and you find the right location that works for you and that you want it, you can get these things done on your own. It's a little bit different. The process is different, and things you have to go through to make it happen. Because again, you don't have that Taiwanese local person in your corner, but it's not impossible. You can do that. It's not hard to do, as long as you have what you need to get it done.
Okay, all right. Thank you for sharing that. My next question is, in Taiwan in general, can you tell me once more how long you've lived in Taiwan exactly?
Almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years now. In the whole island, this whole country, what other kinds of jobs or businesses have you seen black people or people of color involved in?
A lot of it's been entertainment. So like down the road, there's a person, he doesn't own, but he runs, doesn't own it, but he runs a club that's down the street. We've seen people, one black person just being a MC kind of thing, like an entertainment. And then another person, I think they don't own, but they run like a pizza place, restaurant and food shop in parts of the island. So we haven't seen it like on a grand scale of completely owning the business itself, but they have been running these things and in charge of these things. So that's what we've seen so far, like people of color doing it.
Okay, business people and entertainment. Okay, all right, okay, excellent. All right, tell me one thing that you've seen so far in Taiwan that you really loved and really enjoyed about living here or the culture here or something like that.
Well, one of the biggest things is the healthcare. Taiwan's amazing with healthcare. I'm getting my wisdom, going to Americans saying them quoting me $1,000 to get my tooth pulled and coming here and having it done for $3 US. It's been amazing. Love that about Taiwan. Getting my surgery here in America being quoted for $20,000, getting it done in Taiwan for $200.
Equal quality.
Yes.
Like the health, yeah.
Equal quality, great service. I get my teeth cleaned every 6 months for $5. Like the healthcare here is amazing, and it's very much so a safety net. And the thing is, because of my citizenship, like, I can have healthcare for the rest of my life.
Your citizenship is
a permanent resident.
You have an APRC, an Alien Permanent Resident card. So it takes, I think, 5 years to get that.
Yep. So after working 5 years, you can then apply for it and you get it, and then you can work. You no longer have to depend on a job to sponsor you to work here. After that, now I can work at 7-Eleven if I want to. I can have any job that I want in Taiwan. So that in of itself is really cool. But I mean, other than like the healthcare, because that's like very like a lifestyle thing. Culturally, the food is good. I really enjoy the food and how nice the people are. Like I can walk down the street if I need help. They'll help you. They'll talk to you. They'll struggle through the conversation with you. But the people themselves are just amazing.
Okay. So when did you actually open or launch this business? How long has this been here?
We did a soft opening with our close friends and just people that we knew June 1st.
Okay.
We fully opened June 15th. So it's been about 2.5 weeks now.
Okay, excellent. And as of right now, what stage are you at? If I come here, what can I expect to see or get? What services do you provide here and everything like that? Can you explain to me exactly what I can expect to get or experience when I come here to Arts and Crafts?
Oh, well, first, like right now we're in the post-development stage is what I like to call it. Right now the bar is fully established, so we have great drinks. We have the beer, the wine, the ciders. The ciders are our best seller. Cider's amazing. We have that already. Already set up. The music, again, music that from home, like hip hop, R&B, black artists only are being played in our bar. You have that. We do have food. We're working our way up to. We have chicken wings, French fries, mozzarella sticks, things like that. Beer snacks. We also have we have different themed days every day. So we have, again, to go along with our art theme, we have photography night. We have new music Tuesdays. We have clay modeling. We have sculpting classes that take place on Saturday. So we have a mixture of things that go on each day, of different things people can come out and do. So that way you have a different vibe every time you walk in. And then, so that's what you can expect from Arts and Crafts now when you walk in. A comfortable space, a good area, good drinks, delicious bar snacks. And then that little bit of culture and different activities that you can do in the bar every day of the week.
Excellent. All right. And I think if you want to go into it, can I come here and live here and sleep here? Is that possible?
Yeah, so essentially we do have a little space open for people who are, again, in transition in Taiwan. We have an extra room upstairs that we went out to people who are just, I need to get my bearings while I'm here. I couldn't find, I want to do an Airbnb. I want to be in a space where I feel comfortable. We do have that available on our 5th floor, because the building is 6 floors, we have the whole building. And we're in-house, so we do offer that space for people who that like, I'm venturing out, I'm making out here, but I need a place to get my bearings, and this is a place that you can do that. And go downstairs as well and feel comfortable and meet different people as well.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. That's. I'm very impressed and excited and happy that this kind of establishment exists because it's long overdue. And yeah, there should be a space. And I like the fact that Taiwan is not that big. So I drove out in Taipei. I got down here in like under 3 hours. So it's easy to get around. This is definitely something crucial that our people need to come and like experience when they're out of their country. Plans for the future. What do you have on your plate right now and where are you going? What's going to happen in the next couple of months or even the next couple of years?
Well, I know for arts and crafts, what we want to do is we're getting more in the art part. We want to have like more art galleries and art exhibitions during the daytime in the space. So we do want to get as many artists of color, their artwork in here. We have wall space for that. There's going to be a consignment shop moving forward where artists can actually post their work here in arts and crafts. People, when they sit down and drink, they're eating and having a good time, they can look around the art and purchase it off the walls, and all the funds go directly to the artist who actually made it. It's another way to display your work of art in arts and crafts. It's a big thing that we're moving toward. Also, just like with the this isn't going to be our only business. We want to open up not necessarily more bars, but more spaces like this around the island, right? So we know that people need to get their hair cut when they're out here, need to get their hair done. We're going to redo our second floor to be able to have a space for people to be able to do that in a comfortable environment. People just have needs that they want. We're definitely looking forward to expanding and making this more than what it is now. Because we have the entire building, there's no limit to what we can do. We're looking forward to actually expanding to the second floor to being again another space where two people want to tutor. Again, they want to have hair care things they need to get done. They can also have that done on the second floor space as well. So there are a lot of things we have that we're planning to do, a lot of ways we want to make it happen. I do still hire people to come out here and teach. I place them in certain institutions that I also part-time manage as well. So we're also looking to do more with that and get more people of color out here in the teaching area to get their start, then figure out what they want to do. Then lastly, what we also do is we want to do a lot of mentoring. So I work very close with a high school in Chicago, and we send young high school students of color out here for 2 or 3 weeks to have a cultural experience. I think this would be a great space. And now we're focusing on young artists of color from high schools, getting them out here in this space, practicing their art, displaying their art, learning more about the culture, being in a place that they never thought that they could be, or a place that's very foreign to them, and having that experience, and taking that knowledge and experience back home and then running with it. So that's what we're really definitely working toward, and having launching that by August of this year.
Okay, which is pretty much next month.
Yeah, next month. It's coming really soon.
Wonderful. Okay, any final thoughts, final words, comments you want to make before we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole idea behind the reason that we made Arts and Crafts, that we've been working hard to get this space, was for our people. Being here for 10 years, there's been moments where, again, we just missed home, we felt out of place. We've had our struggles. Like, it's not all been peaches and creams being out here in Taiwan. Yeah. So this space really is for the people and for us. And then, like, our soft opening, seeing Black people in here enjoying the music, feeling comfortable, being able to talk and walk around,
and that touch of home, taste of home,
like, all that. It was so heartwarming for us to see that and to be a part of it. None of this would have been possible without all the support of our friends, of our family, of the people in Taiwan that have just been encouraging us and pushing us forward and making sure that we stay true to what we opened this space and this bar for. So just, again, at the end, I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's been a support. Thank everybody who have came and who will come and are planning to come to this space, because we've done this for not just for ourselves, but just for everybody. We hope that this is a start of something that will last for a long time. And this is not the only space that opens up. We hope that it's just a start, and that more people are out doing this and living their truths and living out their dreams, because it's definitely for us a dream come true. Just really excited about it. So, and then also thank you for taking the time to come and speak with us, because it's just an honor what we've been able to accomplish and what we're hoping to accomplish in the future.
Excellent. All right, Black Asian Magazine.